Reading vlog time to wrap up what's been going on during the course of this week. Now, I did say at the end of my last reading vlog that I was just going to do one reading vlog per week from now on in order to be able to put up more reviews, and I do still plan to do that. In fact, right after this video, I'm going to be filming a review for these two books, but we need to talk about how my week has gone so far. First of all, you may have noticed a bit of a change up with the bookshelf behind me, and that is because I have decided to place into the bookshelf behind me the books that I have read so far this year in the order that I've read them. The reason for this is because I am considering going back and forth on doing some mid-year videos, kind of like I do with end of year, as far as like best books for the first half of the year, least favorite books, best characters, best series, that kind of stuff. So if you guys would like to see me do that for a mid-year thing as well as an end of year thing, let me know. The end of year thing will always be there. It's my plan every December to do these types of videos, but if you want me to do it for mid-year, let me know. But all these books that are there are all the books that I've read so far this year. So I'm going to get out of the frame so you can quickly have a look at them. So as you can see, the top row up there is is where I started. So we have the majority of the books I read in January, and then it kind of goes to that side, and then we go down to there, and then across to there, and so on and so forth. So, oh, sorry, we've got another row to get to. So then obviously we go down to there and across to there. And the books over here are the books that I've read so far this month. So let's get into what I have been reading this week. I've read two books, Christina Lauren's In a Holidays, and I just finished, just moments before I start this reading vlog, Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. So we're going to talk about them. I have to tell you guys something, it's really, really funny. Generally, my area, the vicinity with which I live, that's outside my house, is so extremely quiet all the time. And then I start filming and suddenly it gets noisy, so I do apologize for the background noise. I mean, I guess I just pick really bad times to do these videos, but it's a casual reading vlog, so we'll just talk over the noise and hopefully it won't be too distracting. Alright, let's talk about these books, shall we? We'll start with this one because I did read it first. Christina Lauren's In a Holidays. To cut a long story very short, this is an adult romance book. It is the first romance book that I read for 2021. I have a goal to read 6, so I'm glad I've read my first one. Yay! Did I like this book? Not really. So the basic setup and premise of this book is that we are following a woman, and I've forgotten her name, Malin, who is nicknamed May, which I just love. But anyway, so we're following May in this world where she ends up going with her family to a cabin to celebrate Thanksgiving, and the day ends up repeating itself in a Groundhog Day trope kind of way, and there's obviously a reason why she's in this perpetual time loop that I can't give away because of spoilers, so she has to work out what that is and get through it. Look, I love the idea of the premise. I thought that it sounded so amazing, and that's why I put it on my TBR to read. But I just really didn't enjoy the execution, which is kind of sad because I've got more Christina Lauren books that have arrived that I'm reading next month to help me fulfill that 6 romance book quota goal. So I am going to be giving them more of an opportunity, but this one just really kind of faltered for me. As I said, I ended up giving it 2 stars, and I'm going to be doing a review on this book as well as Peter Swanson's Every Value Break momentarily after I do this reading vlog with you guys. And yeah, I'll get to rant a little bit about, well, both of them, but since I'm holding up this one, I'll get to rant a lot about this one. So yeah, 2 stars for Christina Lauren's In a Holidays. The next book I picked up, some of you guys were a little bit anxious to see how I would feel about it, and considering I've just finished it, now is the perfect time to talk about it. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have to keep looking at the author's name because I keep forgetting the author's name, and I do apologize, Sylvia. So This is an adult horror, and it follows a woman by the name of Noemi. Okay. I'm sorry. It's a name I haven't read before. I knew it started with an N and that there was an E in there somewhere. Noemi. Okay, we follow Noemi, who is growing up in her Mexican household, and the culture in Mexico, according to the way Sylvia has written this book, is that women or girls are being raised to become women who only do things to serve the purpose of finding and keeping a husband, which I'm not a fan of. Well, books like that. I'm also not a fan of that type of culture myself, being a massive feminist, but yeah, it is what it is, and that's fine. And the good thing that I can tell you is that that is not the purpose of this book at all. It's just how things kind of begin. Anyway, her father pulls her aside one night. They're having a party at their home. I don't remember what it's for. It's not really significant. And tells her that her cousin has written to him, and she seems to be having some issues in her own home with her husband. And so he gets Noemi to go over and see what's going on with her cousin. Yeah. So I guess the question is there a haunting going on in the residence that she lives in or not? Time will tell. Okay, so my thoughts and feelings on this book. Well, I am going to generously give this book 3 stars. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because this book does something that I really don't like, which is the let's take 2/3 of the time to get to know all the characters before we really get anywhere significant. Now, it's not to say that Noemi doesn't arrive at her cousin's home before the 2/3 of the way mark. She does. It's just that it becomes more of an environmental read about the home itself and about learning more about the characters. And it definitely gave me Rebecca vibes, which Rebecca is somewhere here. I don't know where. Oh, it's all the way up there. Sorry about the delay. There's Rebecca. So this book definitely gave me Rebecca vibes. The similarities between the two is that they are both predominantly revolving around our female protagonists being stuck in a home where certain things are happening, and they both kind of have gothic tones to them. So yeah, I definitely felt Rebecca vibes while reading this book. Now, once we hit the 2/3 of the way through mark, things do start to happen in this book, and so I really did appreciate that, because I was really getting to the point of strongly considering DNFing this book, and to be honest, the only reason why I kept going was because you guys were interested to see what I thought, so I had that in the back of my mind and just kept trying to push through, because those first 2/3 just did not work for me. Maybe I'm not an environmental reader, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not a character-driven reader, and while there is a plot in the first 2/3, it is quite minimal, so I just really didn't enjoy it that much. But the final third was really, really good, so I would recommend pushing through the first 2/3 to get to that final third. But I'm not going to say that the final third is amazing. I'm just going to say that the final third, comparatively to the first 2/3, was really good. And so I end up bumping up my rating to 3 stars. So I've had a pretty up and down month this month. And the sad thing is that a lot of my new reads, which all of these 3 books, Every Value Break, Inner Holidays, and Mexican Gothic, they are all books that were on my 2021 most anticipated new releases books. I was really eagerly anticipating all of those books, and none of them full-on impressed me in any way, which, yeah, has me feeling a little bit down. I hope I'm not going to turn into a mood reader. We'll see how we go. That might be a bit dangerous for me. But let's now look forward to check out what I'm going to be reading for the final week of June to wrap everything up. So the next book that I am going to be picking up as of tomorrow is this book, The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan. I have been eagerly anticipating this one too for quite some time, so I really hope this one does not let me down. The basic premise that I recall of this book is that we are following a mother whose child says that he has an imaginary friend, but the mother at some point gets suspicious, wondering if this friend is actually imaginary. So I believe this is a thriller. Don't quote me. I believe it is, and we'll see how we go with this one. After I finish The Woman Outside My Door, I get to go on to my usual endings with when I get to the end of the month. I have 2 types of books that I read every single month. The first of those is my classic book of the month, and I'm really excited about this one. That is this book, The Beauty and the Beast by Gabrielle Suzanne Bardot de Villeneuve. This is part of the HarperCollins Interactive editions. There are a few of them, and I just think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. This is the original telling of The Beauty and the Beast that the Disney film they adapted this book and turned it into the Disney film You May Know, You May Love. So I'm looking forward to going back to reading the original. We'll see how we go. I need to pause because I don't have the other book on me. 3. Hi! The final book I'm going to read is this book. White Sand, Volume 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I apologize for saying 3 there. Part of my videos that I do edit involve me doing a countdown to come back into the video. So I'll say 3, 2, 1, and I then just cut that out. And I just remembered it's a reading vlog, so we don't cut things. But moving on, the final book I'm going to read is my Brandon Sanderson Cosmere book of the month. I don't have all of my Cosmere here because some of them are up here that I've read this year or reread this year. But usually this shelf is incredibly full, and I don't have Skyward and Starsight there. So usually they're in a sci-fi section. But anyway, so I have read all of the current Mistborn books. I have read the first 3 books in the Stormlight Archives and a bunch of novellas, as well as the standalone Warbreaker. So now I'm finally up to the graphic novel series, White Sand. I am so incredibly excited about this book. I never thought I would actually be holding a physical copy of this book because for quite some time the prices for the physical editions were incredibly ridiculous. I'm talking like $200 to purchase this really tiny book. So yeah, I did get to a point where I kind of thought I'll listen to it on audiobook and just won't purchase the physical, but fortunately I guess they did some reprinting and the price dramatically dropped to something that was reasonable, so now I have a copy of that in my hands, and that is the 3rd book that I am going to be reading for week 4. Speaking of new arrivals, I got some books that came in today, just 2, so I'm going to show them to you quickly. White Sand, volume number 2. So I've got this one ready to go for next month. And the other book that arrived today, you guys, I was so nervous with this one because I've been waiting to get a physical copy of this book since doing my 2021 most anticipated new releases video in December last year, but also ever since the main standard publishing date, the mass market publishing date occurred, excuse me, the edition of this book completely changed and I did not like the new cover. So I went searching everywhere for the old cover. I did not care if it was an ARC, an advanced reader copy, or what. I just wanted the original cover. And so when the package arrived, I was talking to my stepmother and I was saying something to myself, and then I said, you know what, we both need to say this. And so I was saying out loud to myself, please let this be the black cover. And I said, please, can you say the same thing? And she did, and we both at the same time going, please let it be the black cover, please let it be the black cover. It is the black cover of The Echo Wife, and I love this edition. The new edition is horrible, but this one is just beautiful. So I was very much intrigued by the plot anyway, but I just love this edition. I'm so happy I have it in my hands. I don't know how I could go about recommending it to you guys if you want to get this edition, because for me, I end up picking this up from eBay. That was the only way I could get the edition I wanted, so I guess you could try and look on eBay, but certainly Amazon or any other book companies, they're selling the new edition that I really don't like the look of. But this one has arrived, both of these have arrived, and guaranteed they will be on a up-and-coming TBR. Okay, there's the 15-minute mark, so let's wrap all this up so you guys don't have too much of a video to watch. Alright, so between the last time you saw me and now, I've read 2 books. Christina Lauren's In a Holidays, gave it 2 stars, and Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, gave it 3 stars. And for the final week of June, to wrap up the month, I'm going to be reading The Woman Outside My Door by Rachel Ryan, The Beauty and the Beast by Gabrielle Suzanne Bardot de Villeneuve, and my Cosmere read, White Sand Volume 1 by Brandon Sanderson. I hope you've had an absolutely amazing third week of June reading-wise. What have you been reading? Let me know in the comments below. But in the meantime, that is where I am going to leave it, letting you guys go with peace, blessings, and so much love. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah! Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!